Hi, welcome to the CellQ1 installation video. We're here on site to show you how to install a new CellQ1 on a generator battery system. If you haven't watched our CellQ1 What's in the Box video yet, click here. The CellQ1 is ideally suited for applications that support GenSet batteries, remote telecommunications, stationary battery systems, and switchgear batteries. It is the smallest and most affordable battery monitoring system ever designed by BTECH. The CellQ1 uses VTZ modules, the components that measure the battery voltage, temperature, and impedance. Each one of these modules connects to a single battery using a wiring harness that attaches to the battery using tab washers. There are two types of VTZ3, VTZ-H and VTZ-L. The VTZ-L is compatible with batteries having nominal voltage of 1.5 to 5.5 volts DC. The VTZ-H is compatible with batteries having nominal voltage of 4.8 to 22 volts DC. Another optional module is the BVI-3 module, the component that measures string current and string voltage. Each one of these modules has a matched current transducer.
Before we get too far, let's review some safety information. High voltages exist inside system components and on equipment terminals. Opening equipment may expose you to dangerous voltages. All operations should be performed only by authorized technicians trained in the techniques and procedures necessary to assure personal safety. Do not operate equipment unless it is properly grounded. All BTECH equipment must be installed using proper grounding practices and be in compliance with local codes and regulations. Improper grounding can damage equipment and cause injury. For customers in the US and Canada, use the AC/DC power adapter provided with the CellQ1 system. Substituting this adapter can damage the system and place personnel at risk for electric shock. For international customers, always use properly rated AC adapter for your country. Do not operate equipment unless you follow personal protection equipment guidelines. If an arc flash safety label is affixed to the equipment, use the PPE level specified on the label. If the equipment does not have an arc flash safety label, use risk category 2 as specified in the NFPA 70E standard. Do not apply power to the equipment, cabinet, or any component with 90 to 240 volts AC or battery voltage until you complete the CellQ1 installation. Applying power before you complete the installation can cause damage. The CellQ1 is designed to connect to UPS systems that are 600 volts DC or less and a maximum of 300 volts with respect to earth ground. The voltage with respect to earth ground must be verified before connecting the system. This can be done by measuring the voltage from each battery post referenced to earth ground. The voltage cannot exceed 300 volts. Do not connect a VTZ-3L module to a battery with nominal voltage higher than 5.5 volts DC. This can damage the module. Before we begin with the actual installation, let's go over a few details. Have all CellQ1 system components, connectors, and cables. You can check components against the packing list to be sure that all parts are present. Create a diagram of your CellQ1 system accounting for allowable distances between components and maximum cable lengths. Collect the wire or cable sheets and the unit assignment list. Have the CellQ1 manual available either as a PDF or a printed copy. Finally, make sure you have all the following equipment and tools.
Alright, we're ready to install the tab washers. Each battery post requires 2 tab washers. So one set is to power the VTZ module and measure voltage, and another set senses impedance. If the string voltage is under 58 volts, then a BVI module will also measure the string voltage. Otherwise, the CellQ1 would measure string voltage by adding the individual unit voltages measured by the VTZs. If your system includes a BVI module and the string voltage is under 58 volts, another tab washer would be required in the most negative and most positive posts. Finally, if the CellQ1 controller is configured to be powered by the battery string, meaning it's DC powered, then we provide a DC powered kit that includes these ring terminals. And we provide several sizes depending on the size of the post that you can connect to. And you can easily check if your CellQ1 is configured to use AC-DC adapter or the battery string by checking the part number label on the controller. The last two characters in the part number indicate the input power. A4 uses the AC-DC adapter. D0 uses 12 volts DC from the battery string. D1 uses 24 volts DC from the battery string, like we have today. And D2 uses 48 volt DC
from the battery string.
This is what the wiring harness looks like to power the CellQ1 controller if it is DC powered. You get two cables, red and black, and there's the fuse holder, and there's a little green connector that goes into the actual controller. And what we're going to do is strip 1/4 of an inch from the ends of these and attach the ring terminals to the ends and crimp them using an insulated crimper. All right, now I'm going to crimp the ring terminal on the end of this, and use my crimping tool. Crimp it really good. We'll test it. There we go. So now that both sides are crimped, we want to disconnect the fuse holder from here, and we're ready to attach this to the battery string. So I'm going to use my insulated torque wrench and open up the connection here. And insert 2 tab washers and the positive power lead. Now I'm going to make sure that when I install these 2 tab washers that they're 90 degrees apart like this, because that will help to suppress electromagnetic pickup, and it makes it easier to connect and disconnect the quick disconnect terminals. And when you connect it in, make sure to place the tab washers below the flat washer and lock washer if the terminal has one.
Use the insulated torque wrench and tighten the battery terminals to the torque value recommended by the battery manufacturer. Be careful, over-tightening the battery terminals may strip and damage them.
So in some cases, you might need to flatten the washers so they do not press against a plexiglass safety shield, or they're out of the way of the safety boot, because if they stick out too far, then the safety equipment is not going to work the proper way, and it's going to be very hard to take in and out the quick disconnects when you need to. So you can do that. All right, now that we've installed the tab washers and the positive and negative power leads, we are ready to install the VTZ cable harnesses.